now it's burning fully, and these 4 logs burning fully will keep the house warm for 3 hours at a time. So I'm just gonna actually close this up and let it do its thing. I'll just show you. When I close the wood stove, well, basically the wood furnace is a huge wood stove. So it goes from here all the way down, but as you can see inside, the walls of it stop here, right about here. And then it goes up into this catch-all, and it goes up through here. So this center part here goes up through the center part, and up above here, that is old. This doesn't work anymore. I have a new one here, and it's like a switch that turns the fan on. So as the heat goes up into here, it's caught through here. The exhaust goes this way out the back, and the heat goes upwards into this chamber, and it's just warm. It's not super hot. And this is where the fan lives. The fan goes on automatically. It's set on a thermostat, so I choose the temperature, and it continues. The fan goes on every so often just to push out the heat to get it to the temperature that I have on the thermostat upstairs. And then it just goes through the vents, just like any other gas furnace or anything like that, all through the house. So it's kind of nice because some of the wood can be stored inside during the winter. Of course, we'll still have to go outside, but some of it can be stored here. And alongside cardboard, we collect all the bark, because the bark is a really good fire starter. So we just keep it in a pile here in the corner. It's got this chain attached to it here, and that's the other electronic mechanism that's attached to this. So if I wanted to manually pull on this chain here, it will just open this flue, and that's just to do with adding more air to your fire. That way the fire will burn hotter. This is what the electronic component opens this when you want to turn your heat temperature up, and when it reaches its desired temperature, it just lowers it back down automatically. So that's what this is attached to this box for, and the chain is just hooked in, just manually hooked into this hole here, and this turns to open it up, and then it turns back to close it. So yeah, I really love this because we were using a heat pump, and a heat pump does okay, but in this bigger farmhouse, the heat was not pushing all the way to the bedrooms, the top floor, and it was not very good on the main floor either. It was okay, but most of our heat was coming from our fireplace. And that's the thing about this wood furnace as compared to a fireplace is so much more efficient, because fireplaces are only, I think, about 40 or 50% efficient. They're pretty to look at, but they're not efficient. And when you want to have a nice good fire, a fireplace is good for if you want to cook, because open cooking is a lot easier with the fireplace. But an actual wood stove, because the wood furnace is essentially just like a wood stove, it just has this extra component attached to it, which now gives it that electronic bit that a wood stove wouldn't have. So I will do another video once I've gathered my information and got it set up with a technician to help us to make this efficient during a power outage. But in the case of a power outage, all that we would do is, of course, the fan wouldn't be working, so we would just be trying to keep our fires a little bit lower and let the heat come out naturally. And I know it does work, because when we first moved here, I didn't realize that the component over here wasn't working. This electric part wasn't working at all. And so all I was doing was building a fire, and it was giving us some nice heat through the vents all the way up into the bedrooms on the top floor. It was all by just the heat rising naturally. It had nothing to do with the fans because the fan was not working, it was broken. So I know it will work in the event of a power outage, but I also know that there's other ways to make it more efficient, which might just be possibly adding an electrical plug to this where you can attach a generator to it, or where you have a latch that's attached to this box up here, and it creates what's called a heat dump lever or mechanism where you can open it up and then the heat just escapes out naturally by rising out of this thing once it's opened up. So anyways, I hope this was informative on how a wood furnace works. It's very efficient. I love it. Doesn't take a lot of energy. The blower on this thing is very efficient for energy. I don't remember what the exact name of that machine is. I don't remember the amount of energy it pushes out, but it's a very, very low source of energy for when you're talking about hydro costs. And then everything else is just literally heat from your own wood. So yeah, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them if I know the answers. And yeah, I'll just show you the name. It's called an Enterprise 8130. And I think they actually call it something else now, but it is a relatively new one. A while ago, I was looking on YouTube on how to work an Enterprise 8130 wood furnace, and I could not find any videos with that title in it. So I'm going to go ahead and title it that way. And this is what it looks like. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.